me give you just 2 more examples before we move on to the next chart. Let's take an office supply store. Let's say you're in the business of office supplies, or you're a customer of an office supply store. You go in, you know it's not a one-shot deal because they have a store. They're there today, they're going to be there again tomorrow. And they're pretty steady. You can go in, find what you want, you buy it, it's reasonably priced, that's that. Transaction, satisfaction. Okay? But let's say the store says to you one day, you know, we recognize you come here on a regular basis, we would be willing to extend to you credit. So that instead of paying every time you come in, you can pay on a monthly basis. Just sign for the account, we'll bill you. They're saying to you, we consider you a very reliable customer and we would like for you to rely upon us as your office supply store. So they've shifted it to reliable relationship. How could the office supply store shift even further up to here? Well, let's say at the end of a quarter or 6 months, they come to you and they say, since you've been one of our regular customers, we've been tracking your purchases. We thought you might be interested to see the actual volume patterns and dates when you appear to be purchasing certain office supplies. And we've done some analysis of your purchasing patterns. And we've noticed that you could actually save some money if you did volume purchasing of certain items on a certain kind of basis. Right? Or we notice you're consuming a lot of this particular product. And if you'd like, there's some alternative products that have come out that could give you even higher efficiency. Some of them are lower priced, some of them are higher priced, but you end up using less. Would you be interested in hearing about that? An office supply store that really wanted to go into partnership with you could go even further into one of the big loops and say, we have a service whereby we can help track your inventory at your site. And then we can set up agreed levels, and when you reach a certain level, we'll automatically restock it for you. Now, would you agree that that would be a more powerful partnership than just a place that gives you credit? But it takes extra effort on the part of the store to do that with you. Now, I also said it goes 2 ways. You benefit, but they need to benefit also. Well, they're going to get more of your business, but they might also ask you to go a little further. They might say, for example, could you tell us, are there things that you're buying at other establishments that we don't carry? That if we carried, you'd buy them from us. And so you start thinking, well, yes, actually there's some cleaning supplies we use in the office. Or there's some computer supplies that we use in the office. You don't stock them, but if you did, I'd buy them from you. And what you'd have is an increasingly powerful partnership in the office supply store. What about really personal? Personal. Let's say you go to lunch. And you go to a cafe. And you go through the line, you've got your tray. You buy a sandwich, you buy some soup, you get a drink. Right? And you're standing there, you're looking around for a place to sit, and the place is packed. No empty chairs. Oh, except one. Over there. But there's already somebody sitting at the table. A very attractive somebody sitting at the table. Right? So you got your lunch, they're eating their lunch, and oh, you make eye contact. The attractive person makes eye contact. You nod. She nods. You smile. She smiles. You gesture hopefully. She gestures enthusiastically. Oh, okay. Well, you go over and you sit down. And she's eating. You start to eat, right? You're enjoying. Now, it could be, if nothing more happens, that it was a pleasant lunch, right? A one-shot deal. You may never see her again. On the other hand, if the chemistry is good, you might strike up a little bit of a conversation. Hi, do you come here often? My name is, where do you work, et cetera, et cetera. And if it's really good chemistry, you could find yourself on a future weekend evening going out together. That's called a date. Now, which of these is a date? This one. Just don't get too hopeful, guys. Right. It's a transaction. If it's a good date for both parties, the next week you might get another date, and the next week you might get another date, and you could find yourselves after a while having a really regular dating pattern. In which case, after a while, it's not a question of who are you going to date next Saturday night. It's what are we going to do next Saturday night. That's a reliable relationship. In America, we call that going steady. Right? You know you've reached this point when you start to introduce the other person to your friends, not as, well, this is my friend. It's when you say, this is my girlfriend, or this is my boyfriend. You've moved to the next level. Now, let's say, you've been dating, and it's been good and reliable. After a while, where could it lead? To marriage. Don't be so shy. To marriage, right? And isn't it true that young couples standing there at the altar just about to get married, they're all excited, they're right here saying, oh boy, we're going to get married, and one day we're going to have a house together, and your career will grow, and my career will go on vacations, we'll have kids. And then what happens? You have the kids, right? And it goes right back to here. Have you taken out the garbage? Yeah, I took out the garbage. Did you buy more Pampers? Yeah, I bought more Pampers. Did you get the toilet? Yeah, I got the toilet. You have to be careful. Because with all the enthusiasm and hopefulness of a marriage, if you're not careful, you don't keep putting the effort in, it could slip back to here. And with your mother-in-law, it could go even further back to here. Or even, right? Got to be careful. Now remember, I'm not saying that one end of the spectrum is better inherently than the other end of the spectrum. In your business life, in work, and in your personal life for sure, you've got to choose. Where do you want to be? You can't do this with everybody. You try to do this with everybody in your personal life, you run into big trouble. Even in business, you have to select with whom do you really want to forge this kind of partnership.